Let's get into the NFC, though. We're going to run through these a little bit faster. We've been going a little bit slow. We're having too much fun in the first ever show. Appreciate Mike on TikTok. You know, he knows I hate Russell Wilson. Love watching him play, but I also hate watching him play because he always wins. New York Giants in the NFC East, 4-13. Dallas Cowboys won that division at 12-5. Matt, you know, I don't think Met fans will get too mad at this, but, you know, let's go New York. You know, I think that's a that's a very popular phrase in New York. That's, you know, a little bit blocked off. But do you think the Giants, do you think they're ready? They got Thibodeau, in my opinion, the clear best player in this draft.
So first off, it's Let's Go Mets. All right, don't screw it up. They own the trademark Let's Go team. But no, the Giants. I mean, so I have a few Giant friends out here because I do live in New York, and I think I'm talking to them. And they're like extremely pessimistic about the Giants' future. Like they have no faith in the Giants turning it around. Like, yeah, whatever, they suck. Like it just is how it is. I'm very excited for the Giants' future. Now, a lot of people, okay, Daniel Jones gets taken, was it 6 overall? Embarrassing pick. Awful pick. Terrible, right? That's what I thought. I'm kind of coming around on Daniel Jones right now. It took me a little while. But I am coming. I'm liking it. You go and you get
anybody
Dabo.
that hasn't seen any of Matt's content, Matt has been slandering Daniel Jones for the last 2 years, like uncontrollably. Like, oh, you're a Giants fan? This is the worst quarterback you could have ever taken. So this is big.
But keep in mind, the reason why I've been saying a lot of that is because it wasn't like it was just Daniel Jones, but it's like, oh, the Giants are going to make the playoffs. Do you remember that last offseason? The Giants are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
like, dude,
I
get out of
that.
here. This is the stupidest take there is. I forget which team is getting that this year. I'm trying to think of who it is. Oh, the Eagles. The Eagles are getting it this year. So there you go, Giants fans. You're welcome. But I really like what the Giants are doing. I don't think they're going to win the division. However, I think that because the NFC is not that, it's very top heavy, then it falls off pretty hard. They could compete for the division if the Cowboys take a step back, which could happen. I don't know how much I would bank on the Cowboys being worse than the Giants. I don't think that's going to be the case. But the Giants could kind of flirt around 500 this year. I think they're going to be a lot better. There's a couple factors, I think. One would be, of course, is Saquon Barkley a lot more healthy because he didn't really look that healthy last year coming off the ACL. Now, sometimes it takes a little while. He came back really fast. And the other guy, Kadarius Toney. Is Kadarius Toney going to be a star, or is he going to be kind of a hothead wide receiver? I think that's really huge. I don't think we're going to know that for a while. You also get Evan Neal early. Like, I like their draft. Kayvon Thibodeau, I know some people did not like the way that they drafted. I thought it was fine. I still thought they added a ton of talent. I am a little bit concerned about Thibodeau in New York, though, just because he's kind of been known as one of those guys that's a little bit more about the other stuff besides football. And I don't know how much we know about that yet, but there's definitely been questions, and going to a place like New York with that media all around you, that can be a little bit overwhelming as a rookie. So I don't know how sold I am on Thibodeau yet. In terms of the talent, 100%. He's all the talent in the world. He can be an absolute stud. But this defense is not very good. They're going to have their work cut out for him. Who's it? Martindale's their DC. You can talk a little bit more about him, but I don't know if they're worst to first, but I definitely like them more. I definitely think they have a better chance than like the Jets and the Jags.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I think they're in a division that's actually going to be pretty close this year. The Commanders, I don't think they're amazing, but I think they definitely got better. They can win some divisional games. The Eagles, they got better. I think they can win some divisional games. I think the Giants, they can win some divisional games. So I think it's going to be very similar to the Baltimore Ravens in the NFC North last year, or the AFC North last year, where it's like 2 games separate first and last. You know, kind of like it's been in the NFC East the last few seasons, other than last year. It's been, I mean, it was like, oh, wow, we got 6 wins. How come we didn't make the playoffs, which was kind of ridiculous. But overall, it's been very close and down to the wire, and we always get to see those Eagles-Giants games in primetime in Week 17 and 18 because, it's got playoff implications, even though they both sucked over the last couple of seasons. it's been a division that's been close. And I think it will be close. I think they do have a chance. I don't think it'll happen because I think the Cowboys are the best team in that division still. I probably think the Commanders are the second best. Sorry to the Jalen Hurts fans out there, but I don't think he's that guy. I was, and Matt, you know this. I was big on Jalen Hurts coming out of college. I was big.
Dude,
on
I gotta interrupt you real quick because you bring that up. I will stand with that statement as well. That the Commanders are the second best team.
Yeah.
And you also bring up Jalen Hurts. I love the pick. Everyone was like, "Oh, look, the Eagles are so stupid. What a dumb pick. You waste a second round on this guy." I'm like, dude, he's definitely worth a second round pick.
Yeah.
And then you look what happens with Carson Wentz, and it was the right move. But he is getting outrageous hype. He might have the weakest arm out of every single starting quarterback in the NFL, and I don't think people realize that. Does not have a strong. I mean, maybe Dak now. Dak looks kind of shot. Matt Ryan, like there's a couple guys that come up, but like he's definitely one of those guys.
But the scary thing is he's in his, he's supposed to be up and coming into his prime, and he doesn't have that, a super strong arm. Whereas like guys like Matt Ryan, Drew Brees late in his career, Peyton Manning late in their career, like it was like, okay, they're super old, but they are so smart they're able to get it done because they've been playing in the league for 15 years. Hurts has really only been a starter for a year and a half, 2 years. And he has not really shown a lot. He's run the ball. He's been pretty good. Like, I'm not saying he's been horrible. He's been able to win some games for them. He's made some plays. I like Hurts. But to think that he is, like, this is the team to beat in that division, I think is a little bit outrageous. I love their weapons, though. I've been saying this ever since the draft happened. A.J. Brown is the best receiver from that draft class. It's not DK. It's not Debo. It's not Terry McLaurin. It's not Hollywood Brown. It's A.J. Brown. I think he is, without a doubt, the best receiver from that draft class. I love him. I love Devontae Smith. I felt like he was better than Jalen Waddle last year. Even though Waddle had the stats, I felt like I saw more out of Devontae Smith. I like the Eagles. But I just don't see them, getting that far. I think that they're all going to be right around 9-10 wins. But I don't see the Giants winning it, but I think there's definitely a chance that they are in the race at least.
One thing on the Eagles real quick. 2 things. So, 1, the Jalen Hurts RPO play is going to be one of the most disgusting plays in the league when he decides to either tuck it, hand it off, do whatever he wants, or hit A.J. Brown with that slant because, it used to be the most nasty play was when the Titans would run RPOs.
The play action.
Henry, yes. But when they'd hit A.J. Brown in the middle, when the linebackers would step up and go get Henry, right? That's going to be one of the most disgusting plays. But also you bring up Devontae Smith. The reason Devontae Smith struggled so much, or didn't struggle, but had a lack of numbers, is because he's running wide open downfield and you can't get the ball to him.
Yeah.
I think that it helps a lot to have A.J. Brown because he can kind of do it all. Like he can be a great underneath receiver. He can be fantastic in the middle of the field, but it does kind of seem like up until that move, this roster was not designed for Jalen Hurts at all. But with adding A.J. Brown, it does help a lot. So
yeah.